This seems to be a pretty hot topic. I know personally, after doing production work, I spent many years ripping P&IDs off the printer and getting out the highlighter, and as we said in the announcement for the webinar, it's time to kind of put down our pens. And so we decided to do this technology. This is an introduction to the technology. We have added it to our LINKWorx plugin to start with. LINKWorx was built to bridge the gap between CADWorx P&IDs and CADWorx 3D plant models, piping models. Now we're expanding that for purpose. This tool will find its way into other plugins. It's applicable certainly to things like StressWorx, identifying stress systems, and other aspects of life. So we're looking forward and pretty excited about bringing this technology to you today. So let's go ahead and get started here. Really the session intent is really to open up a P&ID drawing. We're going to create some categories. Then underneath the categories such as inspection, MOCs, stress systems, we're going to create some groups. And today the groups will be based upon line numbers. We certainly see this expanding to tagged items, but we're going to start with line numbers today. And then once the lines are added, the whole point of this thing is to be able to save, print, publish, and highlight the highlighted documents for purpose. So without any other to do, I'm going to go ahead and jump into CADWorx P&ID. I may also add that this technology will be and is being developed outside the CAD environment so that non-CAD users have the ability to do the same thing that's done today. So it'll be completely AutoCAD independent or CAD independent, just a desktop application to do the same things that are displayed today. So that'll be a follow-up here to the CAD environment initiative. So we have the Works plugins. I've got LINKWorx loaded already. There's really nothing to do except turn it on. Let me just back up one step and talk about LINKWorx in general. LINKWorx has been around for quite some time. Really, LINKWorx is there to point at an MDB file, the Access Database file, and then once I do that, I can bring up instruments, or I could bring up valves for my P&ID project, and then do things like go and find if I have the valve in the 3D model. So the grid is filled with P&ID data here, and then down below we have data filled in for the 3D plant model. So there's lots of opportunities to go take advantage of this and go find data, and if the data exists in one spot, then we're able to go find it in the other spot. So for instance, if I highlight here and I want to go find a valve, I can go find the valve on the 3D model side and the plant side. But today we've added a new tab, and this is the tracing tab. So if we get back to our P&ID here, and really it's very simple. All we need to do is add categories. I've got 3 categories in here already: stress systems, MOCs, inspections. I could add another category just by clicking the button here and just say maybe I've got a turnaround that I want to go ahead and highlight P&IDs for. So I just add turnaround, and now turnaround's part of the list. So we're calling these categories. If I wanted to just pick on MOCs and I wanted to start adding MOCs to my P&ID to highlight the scope of work, then it's a right-click away and add a group. And the group name can be whatever. I'm just going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 today for MOC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I enter an MOC number, then it displays the lines that are in this particular P&ID, and I can go pick on lines. So if I wanted to go pick 3 line numbers here that are going to be worked on as part of this MOC, I add the lines. Once I do that, I know these lines are down here. This is the suction piping on this tank outlet to these 2 pumps, and I click on that, then that suction piping gets highlighted. And each line is individual, so I can click on one line and another line and another line, and each line gets highlighted, or I can pick on the entire MOC, and there is the highlighting of the entire line. The ultimate goal is to highlight and then print. So if I go to my printer and I do a print preview, let me go to PDF and just 11 by 17 display and preview, then I have a quick PDF here with a document that's highlighted with that information. We don't yet have the key ready, but before the product is finished and released, we will have the ability to place a key onto the drawing that represents what you see in the grid back on the MOC documentation. So we'll be able to get that annotation on there as well. So that's tracing on a P&ID for purpose and being able to print very quickly those trace lines. Now taking that one step further, if we trace on the P&ID, we can also trace on the 3D model. So if I come over to the 3D model and bring up the 3D model of this, I have the MOCs here as well. Today, because I'm not teeing off of the data set, but certainly once we get teed off a data set and have a data source capability, I'll be able to do this automatically and bridge the gap between the P&ID and the 3D model. The way it stands right now with the software, I'm having to do this manually, but as you can imagine, this will be a pretty simple step. But I click OK, and now I've got the suction piping here on those two pumps highlighted as well. So I got the same highlighting on one side as I do the other side. So not only do we highlight P&IDs as reported in the announcement, but we're also highlighting the 3D model. So that is where we're at today with the addition of the highlighting tool, highlighting for purpose, with LINKWorx. Let me just round things out here. So probably some questions that are popping up, and we'll get to the questions here in the minute. What are the requirements? The requirements are we have polylines and lines that need a tag. That's it. So we can very effectively go into any AutoCAD P&ID and just simply apply a tag to a line. And that is the only requirement. So if we don't have this tag on the line, or we can't tap into an existing tag, it really takes about 15 minutes per sheet to get the lines annotated with this tag. And now we've got the infrastructure in place to start doing the highlighting. If we're using CADWorx, we expect the tag to be there in the line number. We're picking up the line number tag or the valve tag, but we are hanging our hat on the tag. But that is the only requirement. I just have to have a tag. Really, the implementation of this is a couple weeks at best, so just confirm the AutoCAD drawings exist, make sure that we have the process lines labeled. We could do a little pilot, get it all done, and should have the team outfitted with LINKWorx capabilities to highlight in just a matter of weeks, if not sooner. If there's any questions, Brian, I wasn't paying attention to the dashboard. I'd be happy to field those questions at this time.
Yeah, Bill, we've had a couple come in. First question, can you highlight other things besides the lines, such as valves or equipment?
Very good question. We are definitely going to move in that direction. Our plan right now is to release the new version of LINKWorx with the line highlighting, but as you can imagine, we're sitting on all the infrastructure to go and put a circle on a valve or highlight a valve or highlight an entire piece of equipment. So long answer. The answer is yes. Not in the first release, but in subsequent releases, we certainly will have that highlighting capability as well.
Cool. Kind of on the same line there, Bill, another question, can you control the color of the highlight?
Yes, I went past the setup, but for each of the groups that we add, there is a style, and we can apply a group style. So we've got 20 styles in here right now, and there's a complete style manager. So for the styles, we have a layer, so we can put all the highlighting on a layer. We can control the width of the line. We can control the transparency of the line, and we can control the color for each style. But out of the box, we're going to apply style 1 to group 1, style 2 to group 2 automatically. So there's really not much setup of any to do unless you opt to go change the color. And then once I change the color to group 1 here and refresh it, then we're going to go and get back to green. So just changing from red to green, for example. Or if I want to change the width to 0.25 to get to a thicker line, then now I'm back to a 1/4 inch instead of 1/8 of an inch of tracing width.
Very good. We got a couple more here, Bill, if we got some time.
Yeah.
Is the CAD file modified, or is the tracing an external file?
Very good question. So I'm right now I'm live in the P&ID, but this application is also reaching through as an XREF. So I can create a new drawing, bring in the P&ID as an XREF, and accomplish the exact same task. That holds true not only for the P&IDs, but the 3D models as well. So if you elect not to carry your tracing in the native P&ID, it can all be done through creation of a drawing and XREFing the P&IDs.
Very good. And you might have covered this one already, Bill, but does LINKWorx support AutoCAD P&ID?
Well, AutoCAD P&ID, we are going to have to put a tag on the AutoCAD P&ID, and that's going to be a unique tag. So there would have to be a secondary tagging operation on an AutoCAD P&ID. That would be the busy work that would be ready to support LINKWorx and give us the line number annotation. We are not reaching into an AutoCAD P&ID if we're using the Autodesk AutoCAD P&ID product. We have a unique tag that has to be placed on it.
All right, another one here for you, Bill. Does it remember the setup per drawing, or do I have to set up the groups every time?
No, the setup is not per drawing, it's per group. So the group remains intelligent and stays with it. So as I bounce from drawing to drawing to drawing, then if I have them grouped, then they're going to highlight as I roll through the P&IDs. So for example, if I have a line number that crosses multiple sheets and I have that as part of a group already, then that highlight's going to show up when I open up that second or third sheet with a header that runs across all drawings. We're keying off the tag, so as long as the tag exists in the drawing, we're going to highlight those lines if they're on. So part of it is turning on the highlighting.
Got an interesting question here, Bill. Any plans for highlighting instrument loops?
Certainly something that can be done, because if there's a commitment to CADWorx in this particular case, and I'll go after CADWorx, where the instrument bubble is has the loop annotation in it, then we would be able to highlight loops off of that loop or that data. But today we aren't highlighting bubbles yet, valves, or anything but lines, but all that is certainly possible. And I might add, we're already getting pressure by some early adopters or reviewers of this application, so it's a wonderful thing.
Got quite a few more coming in here, Bill, so let me know how much time we got left here, but here's another one. Can you have LINKWorx on AutoCAD computers that do not have CADWorx?
Yes, absolutely. So most of our plugins work on just the straight AutoCAD or BricsCAD environment, and this is one of them. You do not require CADWorx to run. You require AutoCAD or BricsCAD to open up the drawing, or create through an XREF. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, we're going to also have a companion product that will be completely CAD independent, that will be able to quote-unquote open up a drawing and do the highlighting without having any AutoCAD or BricsCAD on the workstations.
Okay, Bill. Let's see. What are the non-CAD users utilizing for a viewer to see the trace or highlight, if that hasn't been discussed?
Yeah, it'll be a built-in technology. You know, at this point, that's some proprietary information that we're just going to sit on, but we'll have full capability to bring in a DWG file format and have access to the DWG content, so we can take care of that.
And here I got one more, and any of those that we don't get to, we'll make sure we reach back out. So I could use XREFs and have user highlight P&IDs without touching my original drawings? Is that possible?
Yeah, there's some interest there, so let me go ahead and just close down this drawing here, and maybe we'll end with the XREFing capability. And I'll just back out of CADWorx altogether, if you don't mind. So let's take it full circle. And do that, I'm just going to fire up AutoCAD 2017. This will just take a second or two, and then we'll automatically create a new drawing. I'll bring in the XREF of the P&ID, and then we'll highlight some lines. So here we are in straight AutoCAD. I've got LINKWorx up. You know, it's so powerful, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. So here we go. We have a brand new drawing without any data in it, or I didn't save the other drawing. No, didn't save the other drawing. I'll go ahead and leverage the XREF and add an XREF. Pick on a P&ID here. I'm going to bring this in as an overlay or an attachment, probably an attachment. In this scenario, it would make the most sense. I'm going to use full path just simply because I haven't saved this drawing, so I can't use relative path yet, which is always recommended as a best practice. I'll stick with full path. So here is my drawing as an XREF for sure. So if I pick on something, everything gets highlighted. But now if I wanted to go and add an MOC or add a group, I'll go add a new group here, just give it a number, and now my line list shows up. So I can go after these lines again, highlight those lines, and there's the highlighting. Add another group. Group number 2, I'll just cover up the discharge piping. So there's the discharge piping. And then plotting, you would see the highlights as well. So I'll just go create a PCF again, or PDF again. Go after the extents. Get to 11 by 17. Make sure we've got AutoCAD here, which is the color, print preview, and there we see the highlighting right through a PDF as well, or right through an XREF as well. Great. Are there any other questions, Brian? We have just a few more minutes here. Be happy to field some more. If not, Certainly appreciate everybody joining us today and absorbing what ECE has been working on. Our goal is to have this product embedded in the released version of LINKWorx within the next 30 days, or certainly by the end of the year.
Yep. Bill, there were a few others, but they're pretty in depth. So for all those who we didn't get to, we'll go ahead and make sure we circle back around. And like Bill said, we appreciate you guys joining today, and we will have this webinar processed and posted to our website so y'all can view again, or with the rest of your team and group with your company. So that's all I have, Bill.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, everybody. If there's any feedback, we welcome the feedback. As you can see, we're well on our way and to a fully functional product here, and we think that there's certainly a chance to get everybody to put down their highlighters and pens with this technology. Thanks again, everybody.